Hi, I'm Shannon Baker, and today we're visiting Cape Lookout National Seashore to learn more about what they have to offer for families and people that just want to explore a little bit more.
My name is Nate Toring, and I am the Chief of Interpretation and Education at Cape Lookout National Seashore. So here at Harkers Island at our headquarters facility, we have a wonderful visitor center. We also have a trail that you can go and walk on. We share the property with the Core Sound Waterfowl Museum, all excellent ways to spend your time without leaving Harkers Island. But we are also the launch point to the rest of the park, which is behind me here. So we have Core Banks, South Core Banks and North Core Banks, about 40 miles of islands, and we also have Shackleford Banks. It's about 8 miles long. So in total, you're looking at roughly 56 miles of beaches out there to explore. So if somebody's coming out with a group of kids, I always recommend our Junior Ranger program. It's a way to immerse kids in some of the natural and cultural resources of the park and also learn a little bit in the process. So you can come pick up that Junior Ranger book here at the headquarters facility at Harkers Island and then catch a ferry out to either Shackleford or to the Lighthouse. You could do both if you have a whole day to kill, and it kind of depends on what the kids are most interested in. I think if you have a kid who really likes history, they might enjoy the Keeper's Quarters Museum and the Lighthouse a little bit more. If the kid's really interested in wild animals and natural resources, perhaps Shackleford Banks is a better way to spend the time looking at those wild horses. From a safe distance, of course. Usually we recommend 50 feet or more. So Cape Lookout has a really rich history. You know, we have a couple of historic villages out in the park that came up for various reasons. On the far north end of the park, I would also recommend visiting one of those. So that's Portsmouth Village, founded in 1753. We currently preserve numerous buildings in the village, but I believe 6 of them are open to the public as museums that talk about those different periods in time when the village was very active. At one point, it was one of the most active ports in North Carolina. And how did the horses wind up on Shackleford Banks? You know, local lore will say that they swam ashore from Spanish shipwrecks, and that is entirely possible. I have no evidence to support that. I suppose a counter argument would be that if you were going to leave some horses behind and wanted them to be there when you got back, what better place than a barrier island? So the answer is we're not entirely sure, but we know they've been there for a very long time. A lot of great tips and tricks for the horses. The first thing I'll say is if you have time, we do offer a program called Horse Sense and Survival. Dr. Sue, who is our horse biologist, provides excellent insight into how best observe the horses and understand their behavior. The general ideas for going out there are you want to go out when the weather's nicer. If the weather's foul, typically the horses are going to seek shelter. And if you go out and spend enough time on the island, generally speaking, you're going to see some. So we have an 8-mile long island and over 100 horses on it, so not that much space for them. So if you go out when the weather's nice and you're willing to hike a little bit, eventually you will come across some horses. And the safest thing you can do is observe them from a distance of 50 feet or more. So the ferries depart from Harkers Island during peak season, which we're in right now. They are leaving every 30 minutes from here, starting at 8:15 and usually concluding around 6 p.m. Well, so as long as it's not the last ferry of the day, you'll be okay. They will try and get you in the next available space. If you are on the last ferry of the day, they will wait around for you for a while. Then they're going to start calling you, and eventually they're going to call us and say, we have somebody who has not made their return. So try and make your last ferry of the day. You know, there's all kinds of things that people don't think to ask. What I will say is that we're here to assist you with those kinds of questions. So you can call the front desk, you can visit our website, mps.gov/CALO for general information. And if you don't find an answer there, give us a call. Our park rangers and volunteers are incredibly knowledgeable. They basically help people plan their trips day in, day out. So whether it's what do I do to how do I get one of those off-road driving permits, they have the answers to those kinds of questions, and they can get you pointed in the right direction to make sure you have a great time while you're out here at Cape Lookout National Seashore. There are so many interesting things about this park. It would take me forever to try and pick what is the most interesting thing, but I really think our most iconic thing at Cape Lookout is the Lighthouse. It's the thing that draws people in. You can see it from the mainland. It has an amazing history here. It's not even the first lighthouse out here, so I think that's a draw that sort of serves as the anchor to grab people's attention and bring them here, and then start asking those questions about all the other interesting things that we have going on here. So it's not only a symbol of the park, but it's a symbol of our community as well.